Hi, everybody. Okay, it is Sunday, August 2nd, and it's day 4 of my recovery from the stroke that I had suffered Monday, July 27th, 2 a.m. That's a really significant date and time for me, and it's something that was, it changed my life forever. And so when we last recorded, I shared with you exactly where I was, and I'd like to share with you some of the things that I do, and to share with you where I'm at right now. Now, one thing that I wanted to point out is that I think the next time that I record, I'm not going to wear a black tank top. That'll start to get a little weird if I continue to do that. But it is hot today, and I like this tank top, and I tend to wear a lot of tank tops anyway. But I'm going to be dressing a little bit differently next time. So, yes, I can still smile. I'm going to go top to bottom, right to left, and bottom to top. But I'm really going to be focusing on what I do with my occupational therapy and how I work my right hand and what I do to exercise it, and to give you a little bit of facts along the way. Thank you so much to everybody who has decided to subscribe to my page. This is going to be an ongoing thing. I'd like to make it at least 6 months that I give regular updates and regular posts about anything that's educational, anything that we as a group of friends and family and community that we can share and pass on to each other, and that maybe we can help ourselves or we can help somebody else who might be in this situation. So first things first, stroke does not have to happen to somebody who is very old. I don't consider myself old. Not many people do. But stroke can happen at any age. And so we want to go over the signs again. Think of the word FAST. F-A-S-T. FAST. F stands for face. It stands for look for signs of numbness and tingling in the face, anything that droops. Ask the person if there is any numbness or tingling. A stands for arm. If there's any numbness or tingling on one side of the body, so down the arm specifically, that's what A stands for. Or if there is any signs of drooping in that arm. Okay, that's another sign of a stroke. And S stands for speech. Speech, you want to listen if there's anything that's slurred or if the person is confused, unable to really distinguish certain details, have a hard time stringing things together in their speech. That's another sign of a stroke. And T stands for time. So F-A-S-T, you want to act fast, because how far we've come in stroke rehabilitation research and development, cardiac, neuro health, we've come a long way. And something that we have learned is that there's a time window of 3 hours. If you can get the affected person who is showing signs of a stroke to an emergency room that can be detected within that 3-hour time window, there's a medicine that can be given called TPA. I don't know what that stands for. I'll get that the next time. But if TPA can be administered, then the effects of the stroke can either, at the very best, be minimized, at the worst be minimized, and at best, eliminated. All is good. So that's the reason why we want to have this information given out. So that being said, I can still, as a matter of fact, I can still smile and wink and chew and swallow and talk. My words are still a little slurred from time to time. My right arm is still coming up, and I can hold it up. It's not as wavy as it was, and I can do even more like shoulder rotations. Okay, yeah, and I can do a lot more three-dimensional movement. We call transverse movement, but rather than just like the two-dimensional planal movement, I can do a little bit more of that. So my movement has improved. I can walk downstairs fairly easily now, walking a certain distance now. It just, my right knee only feels as if it's like there's been an injury in there somewhere. And my 2 right toes, not as numb. It's like the tingling has diminished. So there's been a lot of progress since. But that's where I'm at That's where I'm at right now. But I want to share with you exactly some of the things that I do every day. And when I talk about every day, I'm talking about all day because I can be a little OCD about this. So one thing that I wanted to introduce to all of you, there's this thing called a therapy. And this is given to people who are needing to, like me, to engage in occupational therapy for their hand or hands in order to get fine motor skills back, the sensation and just the strength and the dexterity in their digits. Okay, so like for me, one of the things that I'm supposed to do, first off, I am supposed to squeeze this thing a lot and then pat it down again and then squeeze it again. It's a great thing for stress anyway, but it's really good for somebody like me. Okay, so another thing that you're supposed to do is to roll it until it becomes one big snake. I remember when I saw this, I was really excited because it brought back a lot of memories of Silly Putty. Silly Putty, they don't make that anymore, do they? I don't know, do they? I don't know, I haven't seen it. But Theraputty, you're not supposed to put it on any fabric. Okay, it has certain oils to it where you can only put it on flat surfaces. Okay, so that's another one. So we pack this up again. Now, I call this this is like a joystick. Okay, because you grab this and you take your thumb and then press on the top of it. Okay, this is getting a lot better than what it was before. It was very, very difficult for me to press my thumb down into the putty. Okay, so I do this. I'm going to do it one more time, and then get that thumb right down in there. There. Okay. So this, I'm going to give you something that I struggle with, because otherwise I'm going to look like a show-off. I don't want to do that, because that's not cool. Anyway, so there's one that I struggle with quite a bit, but it's important for me to do. And it is that sense of when you are using your hand to manipulate objects, there's a lot of pinching or pressing wherever you put pressure. And it's really finely detailed, and a lot of us take this for granted. And it shows up how you handle a fork, how you handle a spoon, how you unlock a door, how you write, which I'm going to do in a second, how you pick things up. There's certain things that you do with your hand that you pinch in certain places on your finger, okay? And one of the things that we can do, we put this in between the digits, and we squeeze the fingers together. And that's difficult. That's difficult for me. All right. So like, let me give you a dip. Okay. See, that we can do with my left hand. My affected hand, my right hand, this is still going to take some work, because the kind of concentration that it takes for me to get those fingers together, let me put it to you this way. If you were to stand on one foot and try to juggle something, the kind of concentration that it takes for your mind to work on all those details working together, that's how I feel the kind of concentration, level of concentration is needed to do these kinds of tasks. So I even talked with the OT and some of the nurses about this. This is a great concentration exercise. It's a great sort of like active meditation. And this is the hardest for me. It's still very, 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 very difficult to get the middle finger and the ring finger together, but I'm able to do it. And then one more is the little finger and the ring finger. Okay? And this, gosh, that's so hard. Okay, but I can do it. You see that? Do you see that? All right. It's getting there. Another one that we do, there's a lot of things that we do with our fingers that are flat and that we bring in together, okay? Like a pancake, okay? So bring that in and then flatten it out. That pinky finger just wants to, okay. And then last but not least, I'm going to show you the thumb press. Okay. Maybe just give it a little. Okay. So this thumb press, you hold your hand flat, like this, and then you cross the thumb over towards the pinky, and then you use the whole thumb to press down. Okay, so it's not pressing with that part of the thumb. Pressing it down just like that. Okay, using the whole thumb. Okay, a lot of movement that imitates that we really don't recognize, that we take for granted. Anyway, so this is the Therapody. I use this every day. 2 different exercises, maybe 8 to 10 times a day that I do. That's one. And definitely cover it up because we don't want it to dry out. Okay. Remember the makeup brush that I dropped? I thought I might as well, let's give this a try again. Dropped it again. Try it again. So, takes the different hands and fingers. There, it's getting better. But as you can see, I mean, I'll still drop items. I'll still drop my keys. I'll still drop whatever I'm carrying. So I try to still, to this day, I'll still try to carry my phone in my left hand, as well as glass or